Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this another brand new day. It is Tuesday, the somethingth of another month, the 28th of May, and in my lap I have a Gojira. Yes, indeed, Gojira. She's called Gojira because she's a very destructive rodent, not in a malicious fashion, but she's in her third plastic bin because she chewed a hole in the first one, chewed a hole in the second one, and then was chewing a hole in this one until I figured out how to make it so that she can't. So she is destructive. Not in a, not in a malicious fashion. She's just a rodent, and rodents have to chew because their teeth keep growing forever and ever and ever. So I'm going to put her back in her cage. She's a cutie, and she was running around, so she was doing her little hamster things. Yay, she's a cutie. It's amazing. I don't know how big hamsters' teeth really are, but I was watching this one video on like mouse skulls. I mean, it wasn't a whole video on mouse skulls, but they were talking about teeth, and they showed a rodent skull. Again, like I said, I don't know if it was a mouse or a rat or what, but you know, it had the little teeth up front. But when they pulled the actual tooth out of the skull, this much was visible. It was this long. The base of the tooth is way back and near the back of the skull. And by the time it gets up into here, you're only seeing the very, very end of it. Most of the tooth is growing through the length of the skull. So it's like, hokey smokes. Again, don't know if hamsters have teeth like that, but this one rodent that they had, like again, mouse or rat, don't know, but that was amazing. Quite amazing. And then again, real quick, just on this whole rant thing, mini rant about politics, where, you know, everyone's saying keep politics, well, the gamers. And I put that around air quotes on them because they're trying to gate off gamers, and not just gamers, and not just all gamers, just the toxic ones. They're trying to gate off, you know, we're the true gamers because we do this, and you know, women and black people and anyone who's not white and male in this age, you know, you're just bringing politics. It's forced diversity if you try to make it anything but white and male. Okay, there is no such thing as forced diversity because the world is diverse. So live with that. But it's just, everything is politics. Trying to say you don't want something in your thing because of politics is a political statement. By trying to say you don't want politics, you're diving deep into politics. And they try to hold up, even like Stan Lee is saying, what would Stan Lee have said about this forced diversity? If you go back and you read the stuff he wrote in his comic books, he was one of the first social justice warriors. He stood up for the little guy, the small person, the disadvantaged, the minorities, everybody. So these gatekeepers of true gaming or true science fiction fandom or whatever, especially like the Star Wars fans and all that, and the 1 million petitions for redo the last season of Game of Thrones, it's like, knock it off, everybody. Just politics is part of life. Whenever you go to the office, why do you think they call it office politics? Not because it's a silly term, it's politics. Everything involving people is political because politics is just dealing with other people. You can't leave politics out of anything because everything is political. Now, what I wanted to do, many people have asked, many people have talked about this, but my Air Force time is so wrapped up with my beginning alcoholism when I was 19. I can't remember a lot of my Air Force time. And those things that I can remember, a lot of them are wrapped up with negative stuff because of my alcoholism. So I don't talk about my Air Force time a lot because while I have a lot of good memories, I have at least half of my time during that period is gone because I was guzzling alcohol. Most people in the service do. You pick up 3 habits in the service, or at least you used to. I don't know if you still do. But it was drinking, smoking, swearing. I was already an alcoholic by the time I went in. I have been an anti-tobacco person my entire life, so I wasn't going to pick up smoking. and I was already swearing. So when I went in, I just continued drinking horribly. But I was 19 years old. I had messed up in my life. My parents were paying for me to take community college classes, and at 19 years old, I had signed up for a creative writing class, and I blew off one of the classes, and I pissed my parents off. And so I said that, okay, we got a big thing going on in my life. I need a change. This is not good of me. I need to learn something. I went out and I started looking at the services. I wasn't going to join the Army or the Marines. I'm not a bullet sponge. And that's what you are if you're a Marine or a soldier. You are a bullet sponge. And that's fine. I mean, you're a meat shield. If you sign up for that knowing that you're going to be a meat shield, then okay. That's, you know what the risks are. You're going to be thrown into a meat grinder.
You ever found a $20 bill underneath a stack of trash cans?
Lucky if you come out the other side. If you sign up for that, then okay. I wasn't going to sign up for that. Even though we were a period of time, when I graduated, 1981, to about 1988, we had like only one or two minor armed things going on around the world. So the United States was in a rare moment of peace when I went in. In fact, the worst thing that happened was when I was in basic training, there was the whole British Islands, Argentina, Falkland Islands mess. And then later on, there was that, I can't even remember it was like what? Some third world, well, not third world, but some South American country where Ronald Reagan sent in people to blow up Manuel Noriega and a whole bunch of stuff like that. Little things like that happened, but we weren't in like war like we're in now. So it was either Navy or Air Force for me. And I don't like the idea of being trapped out in the middle of an ocean with just in a boat ship. And so that was not going to work. So I decided on the Air Force. Now the Air Force was good and bad. There was good and there was bad. So things have changed a lot. When I went in, we didn't do anything like, I've read up on this now and taken a look. You just signed up, you went into the dorms, you did all your stuff, you were in there, you were fine, you did your training, you got out, you were good. Now when you go into the Air Force, there's a big survival thing. They didn't have any of this when I went in. But now, when you're in basic training, you get sent out. You make a base, and you live there. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's high tech, that's in depth. So my experiences when I was in the Air Force are not really the same as anyone else is going to have. It's like when I was going in, I talked to people who had been in during World War II. Their times were massively different from mine. My time is going to be massively different from what's happening right now. So basic training, they just bust us into, well, flew us and then bust us from the airports to the base, to Lackland Air Force Base, where we did our basic, and we did it right there on the base, and it was just, we lived in dorms and we did our training. We ran miles every morning. We did march and drill. We learned stuff. Basic was just basic. I mean, they break you down, they buzz your hair off, and then they break you down. And then they try to build you back up into a cohesive unit. Military time is horrific. It's nasty. It's anti-person. Because, yes, they break you down. They have to break you. They have to break you not so badly that you have to be hospitalized. Up here, they break you. Some people can't take that, and they do end up hospitalized because of mental conditions, because they can't take the breakdown. But they literally have to break you down, crush your sense of self, and then build you back up as a unit with your crew. So that's heavy duty. Now, when I went into tech school, that was at Shepherd Air Force Base. massively different now from what it is back when I was in. Now, when I first went to Shepherd Air Force Base, the first night that we went in, everybody had to go and hide down in the bottom floors of the dorm rooms, huddling under mattresses because there were so many tornadoes in the area. So that was fun. And after that nice bit of terror, we didn't have to deal with tornadoes again during the time I was there. But time came down. That doesn't even make sense. Things calmed down. You didn't have to worry so much about being checked to make sure that you're everything 100% compliance at any moment. You could relax. You could take off. Once you were in tech school for like a month or two, you didn't have to wear your uniform during non-duty hours. And you could go off to the Airmen's Club and you could get hammered if you wanted to. As long as it was off duty and you didn't screw off, you were fine. If you wanted to go to like the, I think we call it the PX in the USAF times. I don't know if it's still that way, but it was like the post exchange, what the Army calls like the BS, base exchange. But it was, or maybe I got them backwards, post for the Army and base for the Air Force. But point being, if you wanted to go there, you had to grab a couple people and then march in uniform. And I was a different individual. And so it's a good thing I never really had any great amount of power. You're supposed to call cadence. You know, that left, 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 right, left as you're marching. I kept cadence, but I kept people guessing. I go like left, right, right, left. And it was all the way you were stepping, and it was all proper cadence, but you're like going, wait a minute, it's right, right, left, right. And then I would do that during the entire walk. I drove people nuts because I was still, even then, I just had that rebellious streak. Then, of course, I had my first base, 1982, Hurlburt Air Force Base. It was a, well, I imagine it still is, but there's Eglin Air Force Base in Florida on the Panhandle. And Eglin is a huge place. And it's actually, or at least it was, they might have changed the name, Hurlburt Airfield, because while it was its own base, it was also on the Eglin Air Force Base campus. It was just its own separate unit on the Eglin Air Force Base. And it was a nice little spot. I was there for a year, and then I said I'd like to stay in the United States and no further east than Idaho or no further south than Oregon, and I'd like to stay in the United States. And so they sent me to Germany for 2 years. And that was good. I enjoyed Germany. I really liked being there. I went all sorts of places. You know, there was good and there was bad in Germany, but, you know. And I'll get more in-depth on things because I'm almost out of time. I mean, how'd that happen? And then when it came back to Dream Sheet time, where you write down where you want, I said I'd like to go no further east than Eastern Washington, no further south than Southern Washington. And so they sent me to Homestead Air Force Base, Florida, which was 30 miles south of Miami. The first time when they sent me to Fort Walton Beach, I'd asked for, you know, nothing further east than like halfway across the United States and no further south than California. So they sent me to the Panhandle of Florida. So I said stay in the United States. They sent me to Germany. So I said Washington State. So they sent me almost as far away as from Washington State as you can go and still be on the continental United States. Now, when Hurricane Andrew came through in like 92, I don't know if they rebuilt, but Homestead was destroyed. There was nothing left but foundations. Every place that I had lived for a year, and the places that I'd gone for pleasure, and the places that I had worked, nothing. There was nothing left. It was gone. Just a couple bricks showing where buildings used to be. So again, I don't know if they rebuilt, but that was kind of a surprise. But I've been out since, and actually what happened was, there were so many people in the service when I was in that they passed the Graham-Rudman Act, which was because there were so many people. If you were in 6 months of getting out, you either had to re-up right then or they would kick you out. Well, I was over in Germany. Separating overseas is a bit of a hassle. So I extended for 6 months. So they sent me to Homestead. Once in Homestead, they took more of a look at stuff and said, well, you know what, that extension that you did, yeah, you're so close, either you're going to re-up or we're just going to eliminate your extension and you're gone. And there were so many people. And while I didn't feel good about my military time. I don't really fit in with military life. And so I separated. So my extension went away. I said, I'm willing to work with you for 6 more months. And they said, sounds good. Now get out. So it worked. I extended and I got to the United States and things worked out well. Well, shucks. I will try to go more in depth with some more in-depth stories. That was just my rough overview of my military time. So, hey. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm going to read them afterward. Right now, I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker, and it's arranged because even though I count American Sign Language with my fibro and depression, I get lost. I'm 1,000% better, but call it my Chrome here. We have Kane winning, thank you very much. And then there is F plus 38, thumbs up and thank you. Excuse me. Tomi Kako, Tradiciones Musicales, greatly appreciated. Azrael, like the name. Jessica Sutton, thumbs up and thank you. JP Gaming, it looks like it should be gaming, but there's another M, so I don't know how to pronounce that one. 2.0, thank you very much. Junie Bear, greatly appreciated. King Wub Wub, thank you very, very much. Gage Albright, thumbs up and thank you. And Kathy Kisscat, thumbs up and thank you. Jet Usri, greatly appreciate. Kobe Breazele, thank you very, very much. T3X Champion, thumbs up and thank you. Bruh, greatly appreciated. Thomas S, greatly appreciated and thumbs up. Was Poppin' Jimbo? I don't know, but I like the name there. Adrian Bryan, greatly appreciated. And Maiden CDA, thumbs up and thank you. Chris with an apostrophe, greatly appreciated. Seba, that's the way I would Zeba is how I pronounce it in German, if your name is German. If it's not, I don't know how it's pronounced. BMB Aaron, thumbs up and thank you. Mayan Dolev, I sure hope I'm close. Jared D. The Pain, excuse me. Thank you very, very much. And Platinum Mace, greatly appreciated. And last but not least, Adrian Bryan, greatly appreciated. Each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people. It is greatly appreciated. Now, someone said they did buy cat food for my cat. It hasn't showed up, and I gave her my last bit of cat food today. So hopefully it shows up today. Oh, my poor kitty, because I don't have any money. Yay. And if you could check out my various links, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, NearlySeniorCitizen.com. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. But if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I do take all good wishes and deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. I am minus 400, not 500 yet, thank God. 400 in my checking account. If you could help, that would be greatly appreciated. I need to pay rent, and I'm not going to be able to at this rate. So if you could help, that would be awesome. Don't feel obligated. I don't feel entitled, but if you could help, please. And of course, if you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be cool. Greatly appreciated. I would understand if you did not wish to, but if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now to the literal end of time. Now, one of my chokers that I've got, one of the new ones, my neck is not huge, but these chokers are right at 16 inches around. My neck is 16 inches around. That's the minimum. The one choker I have with the 2 rings on it, now, because of fluid retention and all that, I retain fluid in the heat. It fits too tight. It digs into my neck. And when you do that, it cuts off like blood flow through your jugular and all that. Just a regular necktie can constrict your blood flow by 15%. So until it gets better, I can't wear that one. But I got this video coming up. No, I got this video you're watching now. I got another video to edit and render, one to record, edit, and render. I hope to go out walking, so you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and this is my flashlight. So have a great day, and I will see you on the flip side.